Welcome to A Canadian Investing in the U.S., a podcast and YouTube channel focused on Canadians buying real estate with host Glenn Sutherland.
Welcome to another episode of A Canadian Investing in the U.S. This week, my guest is Jimmy Webb, or I guess it's Jimmy Webb Jr. I haven't been calling you Junior the whole time, but
yeah, please say the Junior. My father, having just celebrated Father's Day, I'm sure he would appreciate that. Yeah.
So Jimmy Webb Jr. Jimmy, tell us a bit about yourself, who you are. We'll get into it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks, Glenn. Big fan of yours. Got to meet you at the Florida Mastermind a couple months back, and you're one of my favorite people, man. I gotta say.
Really?
just your demeanor and sense of humor is one of my favorites for sure. So excited to be here. Excited to chop it up a little bit with you today.
Yeah.
But man, so I got so you know me from the videography side of things, right? So I was in the financial world, worked at JP Morgan, up until I don't remember the dates. But who cares? But a couple of years ago, right? And so I was going to transfer to another firm, and I had an in over there, did 3 interviews, thought I was crushing it, but I didn't end up getting the job offer, right? And so in that meantime, I'd actually left JP and was studying that videography stuff in the meantime in that 2-week break I thought I was going to have, right? So ended up doing that. When I didn't get the job, I was like, okay, well, I'll go all in on this videography thing. Let me see where it goes. So, I was like, okay, well, what are my options? There was a course in there, bought a course, right? And, went in and was learning about, real estate stuff. And so, I knew a couple of real estate guys, so I asked them, hey, man, I want to do a couple for free for you, just get my feet wet. One thing leads to another, and it's funny, looking back and connecting the dots, right? But, so that buddy who I did a listing video for, I ended up, running this, how many miles was it? It was an ultra marathon. Total, it was 64 miles or something, but it was 2 loops. So I only ran the first loop. I was the video guy. Like, I didn't even train for this. I was just
to run and videotape.
And so I had the drone in a little backpack. It was crazy, dude. I don't know how I did that. But anyway, so, I meet these guys, and, through them, the guy I did the listing video for, I meet this other gentleman who's, been in the real estate industry for a long, long time, done very, very well. I guess his claim to fame, so to speak, is, did 368 listings in a year, way back when. So, well, not that far back, but, and so, just got connected with him, and I ended up being, there doing videography, like, personally for them. Right. Yeah. And then the pandemic hit. And so I couldn't, he was like, and this was when, we didn't know, like what COVID was or any, so he's like, I don't want you over, around my family, around my kids. I don't know what you do. Meanwhile, I've never gotten it. I stay safe, but, regardless. So we pivoted, started a CRM software that's kind of on steroids now. And I became like the number 3 guy there. So I built over 600 funnels for some of the top agents around the country, and, just learn that game, Facebook ads, Instagram ad, all that stuff, funnels, marketing language, all that sort of thing. And then, as you might expect, if you hang around real estate people long enough, eventually, the conversation of, hey, you might want to get your license, starts to come up. Right. And, so, that time finally came for me, and I had some confidence with building funnels for everybody and seeing the results from the funnels that I built for these people. And So I knew what my marketing plan was going to be. And so started, you know, went on my first listing appointment because we had a new construction funnel that was still is killing it. But you know,
maybe you should go back a half a step and just explain what a funnel is. I wonder if people are going,
oh,
like, I get
okay.
it, but a couple of people might be going, what is he talking about?
Yeah. So a funnel is basically, so we're talking marketing, right? So that's one of the first things that, you know, you have to understand as a realtor, as a real estate agent, right? Is if you don't have a marketing plan, you're screwed, right? So for us, and for our network that I was tapped into, you know, these people were successful, so they had a little bit of money to invest in some marketing to get a return on their investment of that advertising dollar.
Yep.
Right. So what we would do is we would craft this ad that had a strong call to action, a strong hook, all that stuff. And it would, you know, generate leads we were getting leads for like under $2 a lead. I mean, It was crazy. And new construction stuff, right? So these were people that, you know, like the one listing appointment that I told you I went on. So that was, you know, they were looking to upgrade, right? So their kids, they were about to be empty nesters, right? And so they said, okay, yeah, we want to look at new construction, but we need to sell our home first. So I went over there, did a listing presentation. You know, I guess I did okay, but I didn't end up getting it because they asked me about the price, which I learned later from my buddy who did 368 of them. He was like, yeah, you never offer the first price, right? You have to make them, you know, say the first price. But anyway, so I lost that one. But yeah, so a funnel is basically you put an offer out into the marketplace, and then, you know, you have lead captures where, you know, forms where they put in their name, email, phone number, that sort of thing, right? And then, you know, and then we have a follow-up sequence that's automated through our CRM, you know, software on the back end that, you know, basically it does a lot of the heavy lifting for you, so that at the end of the day, you're only having conversations with people who are interested in talking to you, right? So that's what we were doing. So that's what a funnel is. But then, so the biggest thing I think that I've done is, you know, so that was, you know, you spend money to make money, right? Which is cool.
Yeah.
But, you know, I didn't have a ton of money. I wasn't super excited about, you know, putting up however many dollars a month to do that. I mean, the ROI was good, but I was like, man, what if there was a way that you could not spend any money and still get leads, right? Yeah. So I was, I had a buddy of mine approach me because he knew I did the video stuff. And he said, well, dude, I'm thinking about doing this YouTube strategy. And I said, and he started explaining it to me. I was like, man, that's going to work. Like, you know, those things where it's just like everything clicks, right? And it's just like, oh my God. Yeah. Like, yes. And so we went all in. That first channel that we started went on to do 100K in 100 days in commissions.
Whoa.
And then a total of 64 transactions last year in 2021. You know, over $1 million in GCI. It was 33.5 million total transaction volume. And then this year we've already broken that. We're at 85 transactions closed, another 50 under contract right now. And then, so that was one channel, and I've started another channel now. And so, you know, that one, you know, just put a deal under contract this weekend. We've got the inspection. What is today? Tuesday, tomorrow. So rocking and rolling.
So this is all real estate related then too, even the funnel then. I was thinking that it was you had another thing going on. That's awesome. So you're generating leads to be able to be the realtor for them, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing is, you could take this and you could do this to find deals. You could make these funnels for whatever you wanted to make the funnel for, right? To bring whoever you're looking to draw to yourself, right? When I started investing in the US, I did it by myself and had to go through the growing pains of doing that. GlennSutherland.com/coaching. A 12-week coaching program done 1 hour per week over Zoom from the comfort of your own home. Classes are kept to 5 people to be able to answer everyone's questions. Shortcut the process. Make fewer mistakes. Curriculum available at GlennSutherland.com/coaching.
Yeah, the principles are all the same, right? It's just the language within those principles that you change depending on what audience you want to go after, right? So if I want to go after new construction, then, my language is something to the effect of, hey, are you looking into new construction properties? Are you looking to upgrade, to something newer, whatever it is? If I want to attract investors, then the language just changes to, hey, are you looking for, flip opportunities in Dallas, Texas, whatever it is. So the language changes, but the process is still the same on the back end, where I'm capturing your information and then getting into a conversation with you based on my value proposition that I offered into the marketplace.
Love it. You just mentioned Dallas, and you mentioned you're a realtor. So maybe tell us a bit about Dallas, or even you mentioned new construction. What do you what do you recommend people do? Whatever, anything about Dallas. It's very hot topic is Texas. Like the Canadians, they tend to go, you're like, oh, where you want to invest? They're like, always the first 3. It's either Florida, Texas, or Arizona. That's the 3 big ones. So tell me about Dallas. Tell me about Texas. Do people invest there? Why do they like that? The whole thing, whatever you want.
Man, Texas is the best. I might be a little biased. I was born and raised here, so but I will say, the numbers do back it up, right? So, Florida, Texas, Arizona, those are the hot spots. We're fortunate where, Frisco, Texas, many people have probably heard of Frisco. That's been, topping the charts of, I can't even, remember how many lists it's been on, right? But, of best places to buy a home, best places to live, right? Some of the best schools in the country are in Frisco because they keep the classroom sizes small. So, the teachers have more of a one-on-one, interactive relationship with the kids. And so less people or less kids are falling through the cracks, that type of thing. So that's why Frisco's, really popular. And then so what happened though was Frisco, new construction in Frisco is sold out for the next 2 years. Like you can't get one. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you might if you hook up with us, because some of the new construction people, what we've done is, because we're capturing so much of that relocation market, builders, instead of going to their list, right, they come to us and they say, hey Jimmy, you guys have anybody looking for this? And I'm like, I probably do. Let me call my guys and see what we got. So anyway, but so Frisco's sold out. So then the next area that's been that's popular is Prosper, right? Because so everybody found out, oh, Frisco's like packed, right? You can't really get in unless you're digging really hard. So what's the next best thing?
Yeah,
Prosper is your neighbor to the north. So and that's in the process of being built out basically. Yeah. Right now is Prosper, and then north of that, so Prosper is kind of small in terms of square footage or whatever, or square miles, whatever it is. But Salina, north of that, is going to be another Plano. Many people have probably heard of Plano. Yeah. That was the original, go-to suburb in Dallas, where it's the you work downtown and you live in the suburbs in the 80s, 90s, 2000. That was Plano, right? That was the original in Dallas. So Plano has 290,000 population. Salina is slated for 300,000 population, but it's all farmland still out there. Like you still got longhorns, cows, horses. You got it all out there still. But they really want to follow in the footsteps of Frisco ISD with the schools, keeping it small, and that sort of thing, which is, I mean, frankly, that's one of the biggest draws, right? Because we get a lot of families who call us, hey, I have a job transfer, I'm looking for good schools, right? And one of the things I just had somebody call me actually from Toronto yesterday, and he was like, hey, I'm looking, I saw your video on private schools, and I'm interested in sending my kid to private school. And I was like, well, honestly, I mean, that deadline kind of passed. If you're looking to, we're in June right now, so school starts in 2 months. So, you might not be able to get in there. But, I know some people, so I might be able to pull some strings, but don't get your hopes up. But I told him, I was like, listen, 8 out of the top 10 school districts in the state of Texas are in Dallas. So we're stacked when it comes to, good school districts here in Dallas. So, I mean, you got a lot of options basically when it comes. So very family friendly, to kind of put a bow on it. Dallas is a very family friendly place. You got a little bit of everything when it, from cultures to, the cuisines. We got all different kinds of restaurants in here. Glenn, you would have a field day out here, man. We got to get you down here for some barbecue.
I'm gonna come down.
Yeah,
I've been to Dallas, but it's been a lot of years. It's been like just after college when I was down there last, before the real estate stuff, back when I was just having fun. So you're talking new construction. Whenever I always think of Texas in general, I'm thinking these big houses, I'm picturing big lots. Is that still what they build? Because there's only so much land, and you're filling in on this farmland. Is that still what you're talking about? Like these big houses on big lots, or are they going into more like a subdivision like what we were in Florida?
Yeah, no, not at all. They're trying to milk every single inch that they can, right? Because we have 250 people moving in here every day, right? So I just read an article. There's going to be 3 million people who move to the DFW Metroplex, so including Fort Worth, and obviously the suburbs around it, by 2030. Right. So we've already, if we haven't overtaken Chicago for number 3 largest metro in the United States, it'll happen like any day now or any hour. I mean, it's literally like that. Yeah, I mean, they're packing everything as kind of as tight as they can. Average, lot size is, that 0.15 acre to, 0.2 is kind of basically average, right? You don't even find a lot of quarter acre lots anymore when it comes to new construction. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but what we are seeing is those crazy amenities, right? So we have like in Prosper, which I mentioned before. Yeah. Prosper, there's a spot called Winsong Ranch in Prosper that has the Crystal Lagoon, right? So we got a lot of people coming from California, and they love it because it's a beach. You got the sand, you got the crystal blue water. It's a huge pool. I forget how many gallons. I mean, it's hundreds of gallons. Yeah. If not, it might be thousands. I don't know. But I mean, it's huge. But people love that, right? So you give up, the pool in your backyard to, gain the big crystal lagoon. Right. So there's that trade-off there. I mean, you still have a nice yard, backyard patio, covered patio, probably. So you can, have a game of catch with your kid, in the backyard type of thing. Let the dogs run around if you want. Yeah. But if you want, if you want the gym, the pool, the tennis courts, the pickleball courts. You into pickleball yet, Glenn? You got it. You got everything.
Yeah.
In the community amenities centers, basically.
Awesome. And like the people that are buying these brand new ones are they mostly going for like, hey, by the time this thing is built, it's be worth more money? Or are they more like looking for as a rental or like as an Airbnb? Like what do people do with these things? What's the way to go with this?
And so, yeah, I mean, so we're kind of in different lanes, right? So, but I'm interested in tapping more into the investing side of things because, I mean, obviously, it's just another angle to play. Yeah. But mostly what I'm seeing, I mean, I'll tell you this: we had a couple who moved from California in early last year.
Yeah,
and their home, they bought their home for like 500 some thousand, and they turned around and sold it for maybe 750.
Yeah,
that just recently, right? So like in Dallas, you saw it was like a 30% increase in price, right? So a lot of people had that equity built up in their homes just in the span of 1 year.
Wow.
Right? It was crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, the market is the market. So,
and so like compared to like Florida, for instance, right? Like we were just down there in Cape Coral. They could do daily rentals. You went over to Fort Myers, they could do weekly rentals. You went over to Naples, it was monthly rentals, was the shortest they can do. Can you do Airbnb in like if you bought in one of these communities, or is it limited to that, or do you have to actually kind of live there?
It depends on the HOA.
Okay.
Right? So some HOAs allow it, some don't. And it's really a mix. Like you would have to take it on a single situation by situation basis, right? So some neighborhoods want to keep that kind of family vibe to it, and they don't want a new person coming in every week. So it's just
that's fair, because even you go into the HOAs in Florida, same thing. It's all different. Everyone has their own rules, right? So no, it's interesting, and it's and if you're like you're thinking about picking a market, like Texas is landlord friendly, right? They have like the good eviction, good rent raise laws. Because I did look into that way back. So it is a place to go, and it has the growth. Like it's just basically siphoning people out of California. they're California shrinking, and Texas is growing, right? They're just pull them all over, right? And because I've been an Alabama investor for a long time, and Alabama just started ripping off Texas, doing the same sort of tax incentives, trying to bring businesses in. But it works. Even ripping off another state, it's been working, right? And that's literally what they did. They just modeled their business after Texas, right? Because that's what they did. Is they drew a lot of business in, and the people follow the money, right? And so it's a growing market. People wanted to invest there. There's it is one of those places showing a ton of appreciation, and it's a place that it has all the demographics. Like I guess we're kind of talking in general, but compared to certain markets, there's a lot of different businesses that run out of there, instead of like certain in Detroit, and it's all auto, right? But there's a lot of diversity in the businesses.
Oh yeah, I was just in Chicago. My sister just got her master's up there at Kellogg, and just graduated and whatnot. And we were at the Cubs game. First time I went to Wrigley. It was awesome, by the way. Highly recommend. If you've never been there, you got to go. And the bars around it, like it's a whole town. Yeah. Anyway, but no, you don't want to go to Chicago. You got to come to Dallas. No, but
don't spell the wrong city.
Yeah. So, but we were we sat in the bleachers, right? Because that's what you got to do your first time. Yep. And my sister got a news notification or something that Caterpillar is moving their headquarters to Dallas, right? So, and like we get it's like some new big company once a week that's moving their stuff down here, right? And it's all like Caterpillar, like construction. That's
It's big.
that's we got a lot of insurance down here, a lot of like Toyota just moved theirs. Like we got a like you said, a wide variety of businesses down here. So yeah, it's a hot spot for sure.
So Jimmy, people wanted to get a hold of you, get into your sales funnel, or just
Right.
get to know you, see if there's a fit to buy something in Dallas or Dallas area. Oh, actually, maybe before we do this, where are you licensed? Dallas proper, Dallas, the Fort Worth side too, like the whole thing, the state,
Yeah, so it's all of it's my license is good in all of Texas.
all
right?
of Texas. Okay.
Yeah, don't tell anybody, but part of the oh wait, this is public, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, part of the plan is to expand our YouTube channel into different into the different areas like Austin and San Antonio. El Paso is a big market too, just everywhere. Houston, how could I forget Houston? But yeah, so I mean, I can do anything anywhere, but the nature of our business and our brokerage is we have very strong relationships with people already, down there. So if you're looking for somebody good, then feel free. You can hit me up, and I can connect you with whoever you want to talk to. But I don't know why you wouldn't want to talk to anybody who's not in Dallas, frankly. No, but hey, Fort Worth, do not sleep on Fort Worth, by the way.
What?
So here's the thing, right? So Dallas is, kind of more, here's how I phrase it. You ready? So Dallas is more slacks. Fort Worth is more blue jeans. Okay. So it's a little different pace.
Yeah.
The people are a little bit nicer over there, better manners, if you will. A little bit more of that kind of, Western values, right? And I want it like cowboy Western values, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Dallas is getting, infiltrated by, all these, people from other places, which is awesome. That's cool. It's great.
Yeah.
But if you want that more kind of Western feel, then Fort Worth is where you want to be. But yeah, again, I mean, if you want to reach out and have those kinds of conversations, I mean, really, I think you can. I mean, my Instagram's good, just Jimmy Webb Jr. Is
2 B's Webb.
2 B's, yeah, JIMMYWBBJR on Instagram, and then I mean, my email is jw@jimmywebbjr.com as well. So either way, man, just reach out to me. Love to have conversations, meet new people, and see how can we help, how we can help each other.
Thanks for coming on the show. This was fun. It's a fun one. I love it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Thanks.
We got to get you down for that barbecue. I live not even, I could, well, it'd be a long walk, but I could walk to the best barbecue in all of DFW right here, my friend. So you let me know. We'll make it happen.
Thanks again.